So kind of going back just real quick, I got to ask. You said you grew up in a haunted house.
Yes.
Let's
Can I tell
expand
you
on that. So tell me some stuff that happened as in your childhood. Mm-hmm. First of all, where was it at?
Westlake, Ohio.
In Westlake, okay. Mm-hmm. So what happened in Westlake at the haunted? Well, I guess it wouldn't be Fakedic House. It would be
Shillings.
What was that?
Shillings.
Okay.
Yes.
What happened there?
Well, the one story that I like to tell the most because there was so much that happened with it. There's many stories I have.
Yeah.
But I was probably about the age of 16, and my younger sister would have been 11. We shared a room, a rectangle-shaped room.
Okay.
And on the short corners, we were across the hall or across the room from each other in twin beds. And we went to bed one night, and room's dark, and all of a sudden, right next to where my bed is, I heard, and it started to move all the way around the room. Now, the interesting thing is, because you could say, oh, well, that was just somebody going around tapping. 2 of the walls were inside, 2 of the walls were outside.
Yeah.
So whoever it was would have had to have gone through the wall and gone all the way around.
Right, so you were hearing it in surround. Yeah.
Yes, coming from my side, and it worked its way all the way around the room. Mm-hmm. When it got back to my bed, it sat down on my bed. I felt my bed go down like somebody sat on it, and as soon as the bed went down, there was rattling, a baby rattle, that was rattling in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Now, my sister from across the room flew through the air without putting feet on the floor at all onto my bed and flipped on the switch and was like, did you hear that? Well, there was a baby rattle in the middle of the room because my older sister had a toddler. So that was his baby rattle.
Okay.
So with all of those things happening, it was a pretty scary experience, actually. Yeah. I mean, my sister jumped from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah.
But then there were a lot of other things that happened too. You'd be sitting and you'd feel somebody combing your hair, or you would hear music, or you would hear footsteps. We actually had one of my brother-in-laws spent the night, and he was in one of the rooms, and he felt somebody rubbing his leg while he was in bed, but there wasn't anybody in bed with him. So there were quite a few things.
Stalking ghosts.
Now, the sensitive part of me,
yeah,
that's where I can pick up on things. I'm going off here. I like to talk
No, you're
sometimes.
fine. That's what we're talking about.
It was after I moved out of my house.
Yeah.
And I was sleeping, and I woke up because I heard a buzzing, like a bzz, 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 bzz type of sound.
Okay.
So I looked over, and when I looked over, there was the closet there, and I saw 2 young men standing there. Mm-hmm. One had black curly hair, and the other had a mist over his head, so I couldn't see him. And the buzzing was the 2 of them talking. So I went to scream when my grandma, who's passed away, appeared, and she put her hand on my forehead and brushed the hair off of my forehead, and I knew immediately that everything was okay. Mm-hmm. So I went back to sleep. Well, I saw my mom a few weeks later. Now, this is the one that said everything, it was all my imagination.
Right.
I told her the story, and when I was done, her jaw was dropped. It was like she dropped her teeth on the ground. She was just like, and I go, what? And she goes, Kathleen, you had 2 brothers that passed away. One had dark curly hair, and the other one no one ever saw. He was taken away before we got to see him.
Oh, wow.
So I do believe that my brothers and my grandma were with me that night.
Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. So not all bad.
No,
not all bad
not
things.
at all.